And welcome back to round 2 Gravel Trap Legends Tourist Trophy. We are in Rio at the Galeao airport. And it's a rolling start for round 2 after a red flag from technical troubles interrupted the first attempt. The drivers are warming up, being led around by Imperial in the Hot Cars Fusca. As you know, drivers have a wildcard Fusca to play at the track of their choice, and Imperial, Viper, Hyperdin and Rangy Rover have all elected to play theirs at Galeao, scoring maximum points. The rest of the field are now in their second choice from the Copa Classic Bs, being led by Gunner in the bright red Puma, Cuckoo in the white Mini Cooper and Esky in the blue Puma. Mr McFly, Rusty and Travis are all missing from the grid tonight, but it's great to have Esky back up the front after he missed the series opener at Ibarra. Mark and Kiz are starting at the back. As series leaders they were not allowed to qualify, which should make for an exciting race for them fighting their way back up the order. Galeao Airport is basically only 2 hairpins and a chicane, but as with most airport circuits, the track width allows for some very interesting lines, and you'll see cars such as the rear-wheel drive Pumas and Chevettes taking later apexes and shallower exits, while the front-wheel drive cars such as the Minis and Unos will be using a shallower entry and allowing the car to run wide on exit. You'll see cars dive bombing the entries and then crisscrossing their way out of the corner. The front-wheel drives of course understeering wide as they launch back up onto the straights, taking full advantage of the wide track limits. Imperial set a 1 minute 19 second lap to take pole position in the Fuscas, while Gunner did a 1 minute 24.7 for the fastest Copa Classic. In 40 minutes the Fuscas will complete 30 laps, lapping the Copas twice. The Fusca's doing about 30 to 35 km an hour more than the Copas down the long runway back straight. GTL has employed a new rolling start format this week, and it gave Imperial a great start. He was able to get the jump and get some clean air between him and the pack, and instantly you can see the speed difference between the hot cars and the Copas. By turn 1 the Beetles are already 5 seconds clear of the field. Cuckoo is known in GTL to be an absolute weapon in a Mini Cooper. He purposefully chose his slowest car choice at Ibarra and is now in the points hunt. A betting man would be putting money on Cuckoo or Rangy to take this championship. Both are extremely talented drivers, but more importantly both enjoy these older, more difficult cars. Neither Cuckoo or Rangy will be overly disappointed that McFly and Rusty are away sick tonight. Airfields encourage late braking competitions, the Fusca drivers all challenging each other hard in the early race, resulting in some deep dives and then having to run wide on exit, all the time eating into Imperial's lead. Drafting is the other feature of airfields. Big, long straights make it essential for drivers to stay in the slipstream of the car ahead, to get that tow. Often it is only the slipstream, or a mistake, that allows passes to happen. Hyperdin had a brilliant race at Ibarra, making up 19 places to finish 3rd in the Copa Classics. And at Galeao he is having another great battle with Rangy and Viper, until a wide exit drops him out of the slipstream and he loses contact with the leaders, relegating him to 4th overall. Still a great finish and great points on the board. And also about this time, Rangy takes the Fusca lead from Imperial, and no amount of slipstreaming will make him give it up again. Meanwhile, at the head of the Copa's Classics, Gunner and Cuckoo have broken loose of the pack and are in a fight all of their own for first place. 2 very different cars, Gunner in the 1.6 litre rear-engine Puma, and Cuckoo in the 1.3 litre front-wheel drive Mini. The Mini is a terrifically fast car in the draft, and the battle between them has changed positions several times. Gunner had a disaster at Ibarra, usually a front-runner in every series he's in. A hardware problem caused a downshift that blew up his Volkswagen Golf motor and ended his race, and this week was going to be just as disappointing for him. A disconnect ended his race and left the bright red Puma parked up on the verge. Cuckoo inherited the lead, with Left's Fiat moving up into 2nd and Brad Luck close behind, taking 3rd in another Mini Cooper. Brad and Left qualified 200ths of a second apart, and nothing has changed the entire race so far. Both Brad and Left were caught up in incidents at Ibarra, placing them both below where we'd expect to see them on the leaderboard. They are both making up for their Ibarra disaster with Galeao excellence now. They've been stuck nose to tail for 20 minutes, leaving the pack behind them. Both very capable racers, however such close racing may have led to Brad's downfall. The Mini Cooper has a very small radiator, and starved of fresh air, it soon loses power, and then it detonated, Brad having to park it up and watch the last 10 laps of the race from the sidelines. Part of the Tourist Trophy rules is that the top 3 drivers on the leaderboard start at the back of the field each week, and this has had a big influence on the tactics for the drivers and which car they drive at each round of the series. Kiz had a brilliant drive at Ibarra in a Beetle, and was rewarded with starting at the back of the grid with Mark, Travis having missed this reward by having a week away in Fiji. Clever boy. But Kiz had a fantastic run at Galeao, climbing his way back up through the field to take 4th place in the Copas, 8th place overall. This is an excellent run, showing that the top driver can progress through a very packed grid. By lap 20, he was in a no-holds-barred knockdown fight with Stu and TB9. 3 very different cars with 3 very different ways of making the speed, all changing positions and drafting each other for lap after lap. It was hot action, with different lines being taken by the different cars. Only just behind them was Smithy and Left, also both having an excellent race. Both of these drivers and Fiat Unos were soon mixing it up with the battle ahead. Starting the race at the back with Kiz, Mark has not had such a smooth run back up through the grid. He qualified fastest at Ibarra, finishing 2nd overall. However, here at Galeao, a missed gear shift has damaged his Fiat Uno's engine. Mark has still managed to nurse it up to 14th overall, but he is missing the horsepower to push the car further up the grid, opting instead to bringing the car home with as many points as he can still salvage. This proves a wise tactic, as Kiz, in the heat of battle with TB9 and Stu, and just 3 minutes left on the clock, suffers a mechanical problem. The fastest Uno on the grid slows and then crawls to a stop. First at Ibarra, Kiz finishes the race with a DNF at Galeao. 24 starters and 4 retirements meant 20 cars took the checkers after 30 laps of Galeao. Rangy was first Fusca and first overall with a best lap of 1:18.5, half a second faster than qualifying. With a 6th place at Ibarra and a win now at Galeao, he will lead the championship, which will mean therefore he is starting at the back next week at Jacarapagua. Viper was 2nd over the line, putting him 3rd overall, also earning him and Hyper, who was 3rd, in the back row at Jacarapagua. Cuckoo was first Copa Classic home, putting him 5th on the leaderboard, but most importantly, Cuckoo is the highest scoring driver yet to play his wildcard. Cuckoo is sitting just 10 points behind Rangy. Eski was 2nd in the Copa Classics in the Blue Puma. Missing round 1 will put him 16th overall, but we have no doubt that Eski will climb the leaderboard over the next couple of races. And Left crossed the line 3rd in the Copa Classics, a great run in the Fiat Uno to place him 9th on the leaderboard.
Come close.